Do you have one of these? If so, what is it? Oh. Hello, another video for Kings of War, and this time we are looking at the Ratkin. The Ratkin are humanoid rat people. That's basically it in a nutshell. The thing with them is they were created by the Abyssal Dwarves, because the Abyssal Dwarves like to experiment and tinker and see what they can do with races, sticking them together, see what sticks or holds together best it can. You see that with the half-breeds and the grotesques for the Abyssal Dwarves, and the Ratkins, another example of this. The thing is with these Ratkin is they have broken off from the Abyssal Dwarves to be on their own. And Ratkin are all over the place. You see what one Ratkin, chances are there's a lot of them, and they are very pestilent. There's a lot of them, and they're kind of like the goblins in that respect, in the sense of there need to be a lot of them, otherwise they're going to go down so quickly. If you're following along, you will only need the Uncharted Empires 3rd edition book to follow along for the army, and you'll need to be on page 90. They are an evil faction. I could imagine them being neutral, but they are evil. They are what they are. The army special upgrade is Plague Pots. Once per game, at the start of your turns, you may choose to give the units the Ensnare and Stealth special rule until the start of your next turn. The unit's Plague Pots are then destroyed and cannot be used again for the remainder of the game. Another pretty good upgrade, another pretty good one. If you think something's going to charge you and you've got no way of getting out of it, you put these on and they're going to be harder to hit you. If you're going to go nearer to something and you're just out of charge range, and someone's going to shoot you, you put these on and they're going to be harder to hit you for shooting purposes. And then if someone charges you, they're going to be harder to hit you in close combat. It's fairly simple, but it's an upgrade that I'd probably always take. Granted, it is very expensive for an army upgrade, and it is situational, but it's a really good defensive upgrade, it really is. So, starting with the infantry. Firstly, we have the Warriors. Speed 6, melee 5+, defense 4+. Regiment 12 attacks, nerve 12-14, 85 points. Horde 25 attacks, nerve 19-21, 145 points. The Horde option has rallying 1. You'll find a lot of army options in this army list have got rallying at the higher ranks, so Hordes and Legions you've got rallying options at, and that's kind of what you need to go for because they're not that expensive. Plague Pots for 15 points, so yeah, it is an expensive upgrade, but you're getting Snare and Stealthy for a turn, and chances are it's going to happen. So 145 points for 25 attacks, nerve of 1921 with rallying 1. Is the rallying 1, actually that would help other units, so I'd probably always go for a Horde option because that just supports other Horde well, other units in your armies, no end. So, yeah, they're fairly cheap. They've got defense 4, not 3, so that's something. Speed 6, which in bad, charge, range of 12, melee 5 plus, which at this cheap points cost, kind of expected. Next we have the Spear Warriors. Speed 6, melee 5 plus, defense 4 plus. Regiment 15 attacks nerve, 12-14, 105 points. Horde 30 attacks nerve, 19-21, 180 points. Phalanx, the Horde option as Rallying 1. Can take Plague Pots for 15 points. Again, hold them out. Yes, it's nearly 200 points, but you've got Phalanx. The Horde option's got Rally 1. The thing is with this, you could have like 1 or 2 hordes near an objective and have the rallying bouncing off each other. So if 2, for example, hordes of infantry of warriors, they'll have a nerve of 20-22, which isn't bad, is it really? But it does get better, but we will talk about that. Next we have the Shock Troops. Speed 6, melee 4 plus, defense 4 plus. Troop 12 attacks nerve, 9-11, 85 points. Regiment 15 attacks nerve, 13-15, 130 points. Horde 30 attacks nerve, 20-22, 220 points. Crush Strength 1, the Horde option as Rally 1. Upgrade to Heavy Halberds, gaining Phalanx for 15 points for a troop and regiment, and 25 points for a horde. And can take Plague Pots for 15 points. I'd probably take the Phalanx option, although you want to keep them as cheap as possible, so think about taking the Phalanx option, but don't go heavy on it, is what I'd say there. Again, you've got the Horde thing, having the rallying, and this is where it gets a little bit tastier. They've got a nerve of 20/22, which means if someone else with rallying is nearby, it means they've got a nerve of 21/23. There's another unit that gets better with this. They are the Wretches, and they are regular. Speed 6, melee 5 plus, defense 2 plus. Horde 25 attacks nerve, 18-21, 115 points. Legion 30 attacks nerve, 24-27, 170 points. And that's basically it. Now, you might think that's naff. Their defense is 2, their melee is 5 plus. Yes, that is bad. As a Legion, their nerve is 24-27. If you have a horde of warriors nearby, that means their nerve is 25-28. That is fairly ridiculous. The downside is the stats is horrible, apart from their nerve value and the amount of attacks. But that's what they're there for. They're there just to be a big blockade. They're there to be just shoved at your enemy and just survive as long as possible for your other units to then get objectives and maybe support these if necessary. Next we have the ranged infantry, starting with the claw shots, and they are irregular. They're heavy infantry as well. Speed 6, melee 5 plus, range 4 plus, defense 5 plus. Troop 5 attacks nerve, 8-10, 95 points. Long rifles, which are 36-inch range, piercing 2, reload. The front rank of models should be represented with large shields. It's basically front rank's got Ratkin with giant shield, the back rank's got 5 blokes with sniper rifles essentially. They're a cheap unit, fairly accurate at shooting, piercing 2, 36-inch range. They're basically a mini war machine essentially. I would think about these quite a lot. You can only take them as a troop, but that's really where I'd take them anyway. The nerve's naff, but kind of how it is. Their defense is 5, which for a range unit is really good. 95 points, hitting on 4s, 36-inch range, piercing 2. They've only got 5 attacks, yes, but piercing 2, 36-inch range, that's going to be nasty. That's going to be nasty. Next we have the Scurriers, and they are regular. Speed 6, melee 4 plus, range 4 plus, defense 3 plus. Troop 8 attacks, nerve 9-11, 115 points. Regiment, 10 attacks, nerve, 13, 15, 155 points. Duelist, Scout and Vicious. And they've got Blight Throws, which are 18-inch range, steady aim. And can take Plague Pots for 15 points. I can't see the point to take them as a regiment. Nerve's not bad. Their attacks are a bit low for close combat at range. Yes, they've got steady aim, but duelist, so against heroes they're not bad. They've got Scout and Vicious, which is helpful. Hit on foes in close combat and at range, which is useful, but take them as a troop. I won't take them as a regiment. Nah, not worth it for me. Next we have the cavalry. They are the Hagpaws. There's only one. Speed 9, melee 4+, defense 4+. Troop 8 attacks, nerve 9, 11, 100 points. Regiment 16 attacks, nerve 12, 14, 150 points. Nimble, thunderous charge 1, vicious in melee. The cheap cavalry. They aren't heavy cavalry by any stretch of the imagination, but speed of 9 with nimble and vicious in melee, they're not bad at all. I'd have them as a regiment, to be honest. 16 attacks with thunderous charge 1, at least that's fairly decent. Saying that though, 8 attacks for a troop, 100 points, that's not bad. I said that's fairly cheap, but just to get the unlocks, I'd go for regiment, though, saying that the infantry, mass infantry for cheap prices, so you've got options with that, I guess. Unless you get the charges off, the Hagpaws are going to die so quickly with the defense 4. Next we have the large infantry. They are the Nightmares. Speed 6, melee 4+, range 4+, defense 5+. A large infantry with a range attack, hitting on 4s. Regiment 9 attacks, nerve 11, 13, 140 points. Horde 18 attacks, nerve 14, 16, 235 points. Crush strength 1, the Horde option as rally 1, vicious in melee, and they've got blight cannons which are 12-inch range, steady aim. Here's the thing about them. They're not awful by any stretch of the imagination. They're not amazing, but they're not bad. The Horde option is a tad expensive. Only a tad expensive. So they've got Crush Strength 1. They can be wavered. They can shoot. They're only 12-inch range and steady aim, which is great. 18 attack shooting, needing 4s. That's nothing to sniff at. But in close, but they've got a 12-inch charge range anyway. So I mean, Horde option as rally 1. Considering you've got the shock troops, you've got the warriors, you've got the spear warriors and the wretches. I mean, the shock troops are hitting on 4s. Hang on. A horde of shock troops have got 12 more attacks, 30. Their nerve is 20, 22 rather than the Nightmares 14, 16. They've got Crush Strength 1, as the Nightmares have. Hit on 4s, as do the Nightmares. They're 15 points cheaper than the Nightmares. God no. With the shock troops, the only upside to the Nightmares over the shock troops is that the range attack isn't bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. Well, if you take it as a horde, it's pretty decent, and the defense is 5 rather than 4s. But that's kind of mitigated by the fact the shock troop nerve and attacks is great. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is a large infantry unit I'd probably never take. Next we have the Swarms. They are the Vermintide and they are irregular. Speed 6, I thought they'd be a bit faster, but hey ho. Melee 5+, defense 3+. Regiment 9 attacks, nerve 9, 11, 65 points. Horde 18 attacks, nerve 12, 14, 110 points. Legion, 36 attacks, nerve, 1921, 195 points. Nimble, vicious in melee, wild charge, D3. These aren't bad. They're fairly average for a swarm. They've got vicious, which is nice. Wild charge, which again is nice. Minimum charge range of 13, maximum charge range of 15, which you can't go wrong with that. Have them as a horde or a legion. As a regiment, 9 attacks just ain't worth it. Needing 5s to hit in close combat. Height 1, so they can hide behind stuff. They've got that. But actually have them as a horde. That's best option. 110 points for 18 attacks. Ain't bad. The thing is with the legion, great amount of attacks. Pretty decent nerve. They're nearly 200 points though. That's the problem I have. Next we have the chariots. Starting with the Tunnel Runners. Speed 8, melee 4+, defense 5+. Troop, 16 attacks, nerve, 12-14, 170 points. Regiment, 24 attacks, nerve, 14-16, 210 points. Crush strength 1, thunderous charge 1. They are kind of like the hack paws, except a lot heavier and obviously a lot bigger because the chariots rather than cavalry. They have got better defense, they've got more attacks, but they're obviously more expensive. A troop of them have got same amount of attacks, but they are 20 points more expensive because they've got crush strength 1 and they've got defense 5. A regiment of 3 with 24 attacks is pretty decent, to be honest. They're not going to win games by any sense of the imagination, but they are fairly decent. They are kind of your heavy cavalry in a sense, and it's a unit I'd really probably use a lot. Have this unit supporting along with some of your infantry units. Have these charging in while your infantry units, maybe your Rex, are holding the lines. They can whiz along and get on the flanks. And considering how you can horde and legion out these units so easily, I think it's very doable with this army. I really think it is. Next we have the War Engines. Starting with the Weapons team. Speed 6, range 4+, defense 5+, 10 attacks, nerve 8-10, 85 points. Nimble. Blight Spewer, which is 12-inch range, piercing 1, steady aim. That's not bad, especially when it's got steady aim. Most sort of flamethrower weapons haven't got piercing on them. Few have, but this one has, which is nice. It's short range, which is going to be a problem for it. 85 points. I mean, looking at the claw shots, are only 10 points more. They get less attacks, but they've got 3 times the range, and I trust the claw shots more than the weapon team. I can see a point in taking the weapon team, but be careful with it. It's a risky unit. Next we have the Shredder. Speed 5, range 5+, defense 5+, 3 attacks, nerve 8-10, 90 points. It's 48-inch range, blast D3, ignores cover, piercing 1, reload and shattering. So it's basically a cannon in all intents and purposes. It's slightly better cannon because it's got 3 shots on it rather than your normal 2. So minimum attacks of 1, hits of 1, maximum hits of 9. It's a bit random, I grant you, but you are getting a lot. The piercing's a bit low, but that's kind of mitigated with that 1 extra attack. Now, I'd rather take this for 5 points more than the weapon team because it's got a lot more range. Then again, I'd rather take the claw shots over these because they've got the range. The weapon team's got a use. I'm sure someone can say in the comments what, but it's so short range that I'm not seeing it yet. Next we have the monsters, starting with the Death Engine Impaler. It's a chariot monster. Speed 6, melee 4+, defense 5+. Attacks D6+7, nerve -16, 180 points. Crush strength 2, vicious in melee. Not bad at all. Hits on 4s, maximum attacks of minimum attacks of 7, maximum attacks of 13. With crush strength of 2, vicious, which rerolls 1s, which is nice. Fearless with a route nerve of 16, 180 points. It's not bad. Speed of 8 is fairly good. Fairly good. Next we have the Death Engine Spewer. It's also a monster chariot. Speed 6, melee 4+, range 4+, defense 4+. Attacks D6 plus 7, nerve, dash 16, 200 points. Crush strength 1, rattle cannon. Hang on. Oh, rattle cannon. I'm surprised it hasn't got the first 3 letters in capitals. You know, rattle cannon. Jesse! 18-inch range, piercing 2. I'd take the Impaler over the Spewer any day. It could have 13 shots on it. It could have 8 shots on it, which still isn't bad. I don't know why I ain't got a steady aim on it. Really don't. Don't get it. It really should do, to be honest. But then again, yeah. It can do close combat, but it's 20 points more than the Impaler. And the crushing strength is better, and the defense is better, and the speed's better on the Impaler too. I take the Impaler any day, to be honest. There's also better ways to get your shooting at. You get piercing 2 on the rattle cannon. Yes, it's 18-inch range, so that's something, I guess. Should be a bit longer range than 18, guys, surely. But I can see the point. Moving and shooting means you need 5s to hit. Speed of 6 meaning you technically got a 24-inch range. I get you. But I mean, how many claw shot units can you take for that? 95 points. So you can technically get 2 and still have 10 points left over for magic item, perhaps. With the guaranteed 10 shots going off there. I trust the claw shots more than I trust the Spewer. Yeah, I'd take 2 claw shots over 1 Death Engine, to be honest. Next we have the Titans, and there's only one, the mutant, sorry. Next we have the Titans. There's only one, and it is the Mutant Rat Fiend. Speed 7, melee 3+, defense 4+. 10 attacks, nerve, dash 18, 220 points. Crush strength 2, Radiance of Life, vermin only. There's going to be a lot of them, surely. Rally 1, regeneration 5+, Strider, vicious in melee. That's not bad. It's got some support options and not bad in close combat. I don't know if it's a giant sword thing or a 4-legged mutant thing, but not bad attacks, good nerve, hitting in close combat's pretty good. Crush strength 2, rallying 1, which isn't bad. I mean, Radiance for Life on vermin only. What does that work on? Let's have a look. See, that works on the Vermintide. Surely just can't work on that, surely. Can it work on other mutated rat fiends, I guess? Okay. So I suppose it's there for healing Vermintides, if you want to take a few of them. Okay. It's also got the rallying one, so that's fairly decent. If you have that near other infantry units, that can really make a difference. Have the again, like the tunnel runners, have the mutated rat fiend go round the flank and charge them. It's got no thunderous charge, but that's the best way to do it, I'd say. It's not a bad monster. A little bit expensive on the face of it, but with that rallying, that Radiance of Life, and that regeneration, Most Titans hitting on 4s, this one's hitting on 3s. I think it's right on. Next we have the heroes, starting with the Brood Mother. Hero, large infantry, spellcaster rank 1. Speed 6, melee 4+, defense 5+. 5 attacks, nerve 12-14, 120 points. Crush strength 1, inspiring, nimble, radiance of life. Eat the weak. The Brood Mother's Drain Life spell can target and cause damage to friendly core units with the expendable keyword, and when doing so, its Drain Life N value is doubled. Afterward, carry out the rest of the spell's damage removed component as normal. Damage caused to friendly units in this way does not trigger a nerve test, and it's got a Drain Life 5. Can gain the ranged attack Blight Staff, 18-inch range 4+, piercing 1. Steady aim vicious at range for 20 points, or free for it places Drain Life. Probably not. Yes, it's 5 attacks, but that's not the point of it. The thing with it is it's not bad in close combat. It's fairly cheap, especially what it does. You can do, I mean, on the expendable units, what's that on? You can use it on Vermintide if you so wish. Not the best option, but you can. You can use it on warriors. Not the best option, but you can. The best option is the Wretches. They've got a nerve of 24, 27. The thing is, there's going to be so much rallying around. It's not going to be that bad. Plus, even if you just have them as a horde, 115 points. You're getting. I mean, the thing is with this could be so broken. The Drain Life is doubled if used on friendly units. 115 points. As long as your opponent's not getting near that 115 point worth of Wretches, you could just keep casting Drain Life 10 and just healing stuff at no end. What's even better is you could take a cheap 65 point regiment of Vermintide, and because they're expendable, you can use it on them. And because they're height 1, your opponent's chances of your opponent shooting them ain't going to be that high. Yeah. Oh, blimey. She's only 120 points. Ooh, wow. Sheesh. She's not bad in close combat, but her main point is support. And boy, can she support. Next we have the Warlock. Hero Infantry, Spellcaster rank 2. Speed 6, melee 5+, defense 4+. 1 attack, nerve 9-11, 90 points. Individual, lightning bolt 5. Comes with that for standard. Mount on a Fleabag, increasing speed to 9 and changing to Hero Cavalry for 25 points. Maybe. Bane Chant 3 for 30 points. Heal 4 for 30 points. Hex 2 for 10 points. Veil of Shadows 2. You can only have one of these in your army for 25 points. Bane Chant 3. You only need 1 success to get an extra crushing strength, or 2 successes to get an extra piercing. Thing with this is, because it's Bane Chant 3, you'll get more chance of getting the piercing off a lot quicker. This could be a really useful thing of some of your range units. For instance, the Shredder, the Weapons Team, the Claw Shots, even to an extent the Scurriers, I guess. The Death Engine Spewer, again, that would have piercing 3 on it, which that could be really useful. Heal 4 isn't bad. That makes it 120 points, but bear in mind the Brood Mother is also 120 points and it's got Drain Life 5. Lightning Bolt 5. See, if you leave it at standard, you've got Lightning Bolt 5, which is only 5 points cheaper than the Claw Shots, always hitting on 4s. Unless you're shooting something, cover and whatnot, obviously. And it's smaller model size because it's individual. He is something to consider, I think, the Warlock. He really is. Really is. Next we have the War Chief, Hero Infantry. Speed 6, melee 3 plus, defense 5 plus. 5 attacks, nerve 11, 13, 85 points. Crush strength 1, individual, inspiring, mighty. Mount on the flea bag, increases speed to 9 and changing to hero cavalry for 35 points. Maybe. Yeah, it's a cheap roadblock hero. It's got mighty, 5 attacks, crush strength 1. Nerve is a little bit low, I feel. But hits on 3s in close combat. But 35 points more, you're getting a Broodmother with slightly better nerve. You've got the Radiance of Life, you've got the Drain Life, and yeah, it's mostly about the Broodmother, unfortunately. Swarm Crier, Hero Infantry. Speed 6, melee 5 plus, defense 4 plus. 1 attack, nerve 8, 10, 45 points. Individual, inspiring. Mount on a flea bag, increasing speed to 9 and changing to hero cavalry for 25 points. Inspiring is useful in any army, not gonna lie. However, because of the rallying, it isn't going to be that much of a bad thing. Much of a thing, should I say. Also, units are very cheap in this army, so taking a 45 point chunk out to pay for a Swarm Crier just doesn't feel like it's necessary. I'm going to say a harder no than most banner bearers, which this kind of is. Next we have the Night Terror hero, Large Cavalry. I thought it was Large Infantry, but it's Large Cavalry. Speed 9, melee 3 plus, defense 5 plus. 5 attacks, nerve 12, 14, 135 points. Crush strength 2 and nimble. It's just basically a fast hero that is fairly decent. Most large heroes haven't got the speed to back it up. This does. The attack's a little bit low, but speed 9 hitting on 3s with crush strength 2 and nimble really do make up for that. It is a hero I think you should maybe consider. Next we have the Brute Enforcer. Hero, Large Infantry. Speed 6, melee 3 plus, defense 5 plus. 3 attacks, nerve 11, 13, 75 points. Brutal, crush strength 2, nimble and rallying 1. The thing with this is, it's a large infantry hero, and most I'd go, nah. Or maybe consider, but don't go mad with it. This is one I'd consider. Reason being, it's cheap rallying. You have this behind a unit of wretches, it is going to really help. Other than that, I mean, having near anyone helps their nerve out immensely. It's all shades of average in close combat though. Yes, it hits on 3s, crush strength 2 with brutal, great. So I've got 3 attacks though. Its nerve is average at best. Next we have the Master Scurrier, Hero Infantry. Speed 7, melee 3 plus, range 4 plus, defense 4 plus. 4 attacks, nerve 10, 12, 95 points. Crush strength 1, duelist, individual, scout, stealthy and vicious. It's got a blight pistol which is 12-inch range and piercing 1. It's not bad, It's just there to pot shot and annoy enemies, pot shot with a pistol, maybe take out a few heroes here and there. It's got stealthy, it's got scout and vicious, so you can reroll once even with your pistol, which hits on 4s, which is nice, piercing 1. Little bit expensive considering the claw shots are 36-inch range with piercing 2, but you can see the point because move around all the time with speed 7, just shooting enemies all over the place. Your opponent's going to get annoyed with it and just going to try and find a way to take it down. It's a hero I'd consider. I won't go mad on Master Scurriers. Next we have the unique units. Starting with the Tangle. It is a Titan, spellcaster rank 0. Unusually for a Titan, it's height 3. Most Titans are height 6. Speed 5, melee 4 plus, defense 4 plus. 9 attacks, nerve, dash 14, 160 points. Aura, Fury, which isn't bad, makes things be able to counter-charge even if they wavered, which is brilliant. Inspiring, Nimble, Rallying 1, great. Regeneration 6+, at least it's got it. Vicious in melee. Tangle, for each friendly core infantry regiment, infantry horde, infantry legion, or unit with the vermin keyword, so vermin tides, or mutated rat fiends, within 6, increase the amount of dice rolled with Bane Chant, Fireball, Mind Fog, and Weakness by 1 to a maximum bonus of 3. Note, base size cannot be increased for beyond 75mm by 75mm, so 75mm square base is the biggest you can go with this. It comes with Bane Chant 1, Fireball 10, Mind Fog 1, and Weakness 1. This is the thing though. This again could be a broken unit. The thing is with it though is you need other units nearby, and frankly it's easy enough to do. Have a unit, have wretched, you could have the wretches nearby, 115 points, or just have cheap Vermintide nearby. I mean, the Vermintide are really going to help some of your characters out, your heroes out, like your Brute Mother. The Vermintide is really going to help her out, and it's really going to help the Tangle out. You have at least 2 or 3 units of, have 3 units of Vermintide. That is 195 points for 3 of them. That's going to give it Mind Fog 3, Fireball 13, Bane Chant 3, and Weakness 3. You cast that Mind Fog 3, and that is going to be painful. You are going to rack up wounds on your opponent no end easily. And Weakness 3, yeah, it's useful in the right circumstances. Fireball 13 is weird, but over 10 shots, come on. And Bane Chant 3 gives you more options and chances to get that piercing, an extra piercing or Crusher Strength out easily. It's 160 points, it's only 40 points more than the Brood Mother. 9 attacks. I'm surprised it hasn't got Ensnare or anything like that. The Aura of Fury means you can counter charge, which helpful on your cavalry very easily. It is a good support option. It is a really good support option. I wouldn't have it anything lower than I wouldn't have it at anything lower than 200 points. However, it's not that expensive. It's under 200 points, but it's just a big base, and it is going to get charged and fairly easily. But it is Art 3, so it's not going to get shot that easily. Next we have Mother Cereza. I think that's how you pronounce it. Hero Large Infantry, Spellcaster rank 3. Speed 6, melee 3+, defense 5+. 5 attacks, nerve 13-15, 165 points. Cloak of Death, Crush Strength 1, Ensnare, Inspiring, Nimble and Stealthy. Comes with Lightning Bolt 5. Contain Bane Chant 3 for 30 points. Blood Boil 1, you can only have 1 of these in your army for 20 points. Veil of Shadows 2, you can only have 1 of these in your army for 25 points. I don't know why she hasn't got the Brood Mother's Eat the Weak spell. Eat the Weak ability. I don't get that. Why don't she come with that? Lightning Bolt 5 is great, but for nearly half the points cost, you're getting a Warlock with that. And for 15 points more, you're getting 2 Warlocks. She's got Ensnare and Stealthy. That's great. And Cloak of Death. Again, that's great as well. But she feels like she's trying to be a Brood Mother without understanding what a Brood Mother does. And she's 45 points more than a Brood Mother, and it doesn't feel worth it. Next we have, oh my god, that name Mantic. Hang on. Sugku Zugluk, Demon Spawn of Dew. Hero Titan, Spellcaster rank 0. Speed 10, melee 3 plus, defense 5 plus. 13 attacks, nerve 17, 19, 345 points. They ain't cheap. Crush Strength 3, Fly, blimey, Inspiring Nimble, Rallying 2, and comes with a Lightning Bolt 5. What's with all this Lightning Bolt? So it's an Abyssal, apparently. Really good in close combat. I mean, hits on 3s, 13 attacks, Crush Strength 3. What's more to say about that? Not bad supporting either. Rallying 2. I mean, put that on the wretches. That means that's going to have a nerve of 26, 29. That's insane. So, granted, it's not going to get cover from the wretches, but have the wretches charge in. They're going to die. That's life, or rather, that would be life, but too bad. And then, when they die, he charges in, or she charges in, or it charges in, and just causes a huge, huge mess. The thing is, if you take Demon Spawn of Dew, you use it kind of like I say with the Night Stalkers. Have your cheap stuff go in first, your mass infantry, have them charge in, and once they die, which they will, the enemies are going to be really, really weakened. Have this charge in and wipe them out. It's not cheap, I grant you. 200 points is your base minimum to take him, and even then I'd think about it. Only because his points cost is high. It's not that he's too expensive. He's not. He's right on the points cost, I think. But he isn't cheap. He isn't cheap. The Tangle is a great support option. Alright in combat, but I wouldn't put it in combat unless you need to. Mother Cerise, I don't see why. 65 points wasted. It's 5 points more than the Tangle, and that's more useful. Demon Spawn of Dayu. Oh yeah, I like that one. They are a horde army, and make no mistake, they got mass infantry, complemented by some pretty good shooting, some not bad cavalry options, some pretty alright war engines and monsters and the like, and some really, really good heroes, some of the best, as far as I'm concerned. The Brood Mother. The Brood Mother has potential to be absolutely broken. I mean, the Drain Life spell on its own is alright. It's a good healing spell if you can get it off shooting your opponents, and at height 3 it's possible. But you can use it on your own units, and if you combo her up with things like a cheap unit of Wretches or a cheap 65 point regiment of Vermintide, or 2 or 3, just laughing. Similar thing with the Warlock and the Tangle, good support for your army. You've also got the Brute Terror, cheap support option. Sorry, the Brute Enforcer, which is a good cheap support option for your army. You've got the Master Scurrier, which is a good peppering unit, and then you've got the Demon Spawn of Dayu, which if you manage to say it correctly, your opponent should be awarded 5 extra victory points, because it's one of the most ridiculous names ever. Is that the point of it, Mantic? To have it in tournaments, and if you can say it correctly, you get more victory points. Is that it? It's an impressive army, and people are going to say it's like Skaven, and some of it is, not going to lie. Some of it isn't, though. The Tangle's different. The Brood Mother, definitely different. The Shredder kind of different. They have got the lightning thrower, but not as reliable, I suppose. The mutated rat fiend. They haven't got a model for that, have they? There is similar, but these are more reliable than the Skaven things of old, because the Skaven army had a tendency to die of its own accord. And these can do a lot better. So that's it for now. Goodbye! Troops of the Dead Zone vermin.
Here's what I found.
Piss off.